Stop. Do you take too many L's in the park? Do you feel like no matter what you do, your shots can never go in? Do you want to start taking W's and start streaking on the park and start fixing your record? You do? Good. Well, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks on how to win more games in 2K20. So without further ado, let's get on with the video.
You're listening to Redneck.
Oh my god! Good tree, bro. Oh my god. Yo, you knocked him on his ass.
What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, Big Red One Soldier here. And today I'm coming at you with some tips and tricks on how to get some dubs in 2K20. So I'm running with my squad right now, and today we probably played about like 25 games, only caught like 5 L's. And we were streaking. I think the highest streak that we were on today was 8. So, you know, obviously we know what we're doing. And if you're trying to fix your park record and your park record is looking trash, listen to these tips. So rule number 1 is do not run with randoms. If you for real care about your record, don't run with randoms, because you don't want to take that chance of somebody selling your record. Rule number 2 is you have to have a center when you're playing the park. Do not go, try to line up with the squad with just guards, because I'm telling you, you will lose every time. You need a big man in order for you to be effective on defense and on offense, locking down that paint. So whatever you do, try to get a big man who is good and actually can play, because I'm telling you, if you want to catch those dubs, the big man is rule number 2, and it's really important. Especially, like I said, he's gonna catch all the rebounds. So if you're a guard, let the big man play his role. Don't crowd him up in the paint. Let him catch the boards, and you worry about getting your ass back down on offense so you can catch the ball and get some easy buckets. So rule number 3 is anytime you're playing the game, always play sweaty. Always play like you want to win. Don't ever hold back. Don't just like slack around, unless like if you're like super, like if you're up by like 15 points and they're like, you know, you're gonna beat them, that's one thing. But if you are trying to get dubs, play like every single game is gonna be like your last game. So rule number 4 is always play good team ball. Some people just want to hog the ball and shoot and try to shoot lights out and try to get all the points. But if you are worried about your record, you're going to want to play good team ball. You're going to want to move the ball around. You're going to look for those open shots. You're going to pass it down the paint. Let your big man get to work. Let your shooter shoot the open shots. Don't force any shots. It's all about the momentum and the speed of how you're playing and your team members. You got to be playing smart team ball with your team members and passing it around. So that way that's what leads, honestly, that's what leads to wins. Because if you're just hogging the ball, trying to dribble up and then just shoot, yeah, it might work. But when you're playing against comp, that's not gonna fly. You're gonna lose every time. You have to play team ball. And rule number 5 is if you're a guard or a shooter, you have to have a good jumper. And when you have that jumper on, don't just release the ball just whenever you feel like it, because you know you think it's gonna go in. You might have a 95 open shot 3, an 88 open shot 3 like me, and it's not like 2K19 to where like even if you get a full white, it's gonna go in every time. So you have to pay attention to your release. Make sure you're releasing it correctly. Try to get as many greens as possible. Otherwise, like, don't even shoot, because if you're trash at your jump shot, don't even shoot. So practice on getting those greens and watch your jump shot timer or some kind of tell on your body on when you're doing the animation when you know you have to release, so you can get those greens. Number 6 is you have to cherry pick. People in 2K20 been cherry picking the whole entire time, and you don't want to be that dude that doesn't do it. It can be lame, whatever, but it is smart basketball, because you're scoring on the fast break and you're getting easy buckets on the fast break. And when you're playing comp, you have to score every single time on offense. Every time you have to score. Take advantage and score. So whenever you see the person you're guarding up shoot for a ball and you have a big man, trust your big man. Trust that he's gonna get a rebound, and at least one player on your team start running on the other direction so that when your big man catches the ball, he can throw you that pass for an easy bucket. So you have to cherry pick. And another thing is that if you're on offense and you're shooting the ball, don't just sit there and just try to watch to make sure that it goes in. If it's a green, you already know it's gonna hit. But if it's a full white, start transitioning to defense, because if you miss, that person is gonna cherry pick and you're gonna want to be there to lock them up. So that's another good tip that you might want to follow. So don't forget, when you're on offense and you're shooting the ball, don't just sit there. Look at your opponent, make sure he's not running down the court, and just get ready for that transition on defense. At least one person, because if your center catches the board, at least you have one teammate that's on offense still and you're on defense, or your other teammate's on defense getting ready for that cherry pick. So rule number 7 would be communicate on your switches. If you know that you got a screen coming up and you're gonna need to switch, call that out, because communication with your team is key. You don't want to be not communicating with your team and then people are getting left open for open shot threes. So let's see, what else? What do you guys think? As far as in the role that you guys play, what kind of tips would you give out to the people for your role that you play right now? So,
I mean, the most important tip would be chemistry, just because
chemistry?
If you swinging and I'm cutting, then obviously the other man can't be cutting at the same time, because if somebody brings, if I'm going to try and dunk and somebody brings their defender to me, it's gonna be bad on my part, just because the paint's crowded. If it's just one-on-one, then it's, we'll dominate.
Yep.
But yeah,
let them know what your build is and then how you dominate on that build.
So I'm pretty much a rim protector. I guess the new game calls it interior force. But I'm pretty much a slashing rim protector. 7 foot. I got my weight at like 250. Just 'cause I don't want to get bodied by somebody who's fucking 7'3", just running through the lane trying to dunk. My strength is sitting at like 92. So whenever they go to most people, whenever they do try and body me, if I'm actually like defensive on the spot, they mostly it gets rejected just because of my strength.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, a lot of people, they'll catch me off guard if my back's turned, or I ain't transitioned correctly, or I'm out of position, and yeah, they'll get me. But most of the time, if I'm playing like actual DD, yeah, it's pretty tough. It's a tough build.
Yeah. All right. So another tip is that when you're on defense and you have your defender on you, most defenders 9 times out of 10 are gonna want to attack the baseline. So what you have to do is always anticipate them attacking the baseline. So you have to close out that line. You have to close out the line, because like I said, most people do a behind the back and they start running to the baseline to try to catch an easy Euro step or a dunk. So as long as you're closing out that baseline, you will clamp them up every time. So always anticipate when they're running left or right, they're gonna attack baseline. So you want to close out that gap. So that's a good little nugget for you on defense. Don't forget to play just hands up defense. I like to play hands up defense. It does make you a little bit slower, but you don't want to be playing with your hands down, especially if you're coming like a shooter, because if you're holding up hands up defense and they go for a shot, your guy automatically runs towards him and he tries to contest it. Let's see. What about you, Lokes? You got any tips as far as your build? Describe your build and give us some tips.
Not a build. I don't got a build tip, but I do got a grinding tip. Like, I've seen a lot of people, they usually wait for games. Like, you don't have to wait for games. You can just transition, go back and forth, go from my career to my park, my career to my park, and work on your badges, because the badges, you get badges quicker working in my career games than you do in my park. It goes up a lot slower, so you always got to go back and forth with my park and my career, because also a lot of other people, you know, they're there waiting at the spot, but once the game's about to start, they get off. I don't know why that's the case, but that's crazy. So you can't just fucking waste your time. You always gotta go back and forth. You gotta keep grinding. No excuses.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So make sure you guys take those tips, you apply them to your game style, and you know you get in those key in fundamentals. And don't forget, smart team ball gets dubs. Passing, like, it's all about just building that chemistry, like how homie said, building that chemistry, playing smart team ball, and then just shooting the shots and, you know, taking smart ones. Like, you will catch dubs, I promise you. The main one for me, I would say, is just playing smart team ball. That's the real key right there. But like I said, take those nuggets, put them into your own spin if you need to, but apply them, and all you have to do is just practice it, and you will start catching dubs. And like I said, do not run with randoms that you know are gonna sell your record. Don't do that. Just find a team and then start grinding with them. Start building that chemistry. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's your boy, Big Red One Soldier, and I'm out.